Hi everyone, it's Maureen. Yep, still Maureen. In this video I will share the first part of my story from heart failure to heart transplant. This video will be focusing on the very early stages when I was actually referred to the cardiology team to then actually getting a diagnosis at the age of 15. So the reason I was first referred to the cardiology services was because of a big family history of heart disease. And so when I was 8 years old, I think I was 8, I started to have all these tests done to see how my heart is doing. This would happen every year, and I would have tests like ECG, echocardiogram and 24-hour tape. So echocardiogram is where they have the big sort of ultrasound probe and they just go and then they like analyse the structure and function of the heart. And ECG is where they put the stickers on you, 4 or 5 stickers, and then for like 1 or 2 minutes they'll just sort of read the electrical activity of the heart at rest. And the 24-hour tape is to basically see the same thing like an ECG does with the stickers, but just over a period of 24 hours. It gives them an idea of the amount of ectopic or abnormal heart beats that you have, basically. So it allows the team to just see how your heart is doing over a long period of time. And from the age of 8, I was fine. Absolutely fine. Completely no symptoms, absolutely fine. I don't even know how to describe absolutely fine. I was absolutely fine. No symptoms, and structure and function and electrical activity of my heart was absolutely fine. So I carried on with my school studies as normal, and it was only when I was 15 years old where my family and I were told they noticed changes and they wanted to bring us in and speak about it in person. I went into the clinic with my mum and dad and they told me and my family 2 things. So from the 24-hour monitor that I had, the current tape showed a lot of changes from my previous tapes. So within that 24-hour range, they found more than 1,000 ectopic heartbeats. Ectopics are basically abnormal heart rhythms. So instead of your lub-dub, 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 your typical standard regular heart rhythm, it could go something like lub-dub, lub-dub, dub, lub-dub, dub, dub. I don't even want to embarrass myself at this point, but that's what it can be like. He wasn't smiling at this point, he had a sad face, and that alone sort of told me it's not a good sign. Second thing that he told me was my echocardiogram showed like the left ventricle being a bit more dilated than my previous echocardiograms. They came to the conclusion that because of the family history, I had dilated cardiomyopathy. I didn't really know what to make of this, to be honest. I was only 15, so it was all words. I think the thing that really stood out was just the fact that he's telling me this is a heart condition, heart disease. But still, as a 15-year-old, you don't understand. So when he said to me that we're gonna have to give you some treatment and we're gonna start you on this little medication called bisoprolol. Okay, by the way, everyone says different things. Don't hate me for saying bisoprolol. Some people say bisoprolol, some people say bisoprolol, so I don't even know. But I say bisoprolol, okay? First thing first. You're not wrong, you're not right, you're just yourself. Do you. Be you. Anyway. So he said, look, you have to take this pill and we're going to see how your heart responds to this, basically. Towards the end of this consultation, the doctor asked me, "Do you have any questions?" Side note, one thing I really liked about this particular cardiologist, even though he's a paediatrician, even though he deals with kids, he didn't look to my parents. Whenever he was addressing something like, "Oh, this is what's wrong with your heart, this is what's the problem," he was looking at me directly. And I just want to say, like, I'm so grateful that he did, because it made me feel like it really was my problem rather than my parents. You need to understand that something is your problem and that you're getting treatment for something, because then mentally it just helps the process and everything, and also it helps you ask questions and learn more about your condition. So it's just very comforting, and it's just really nice. So when he asked me that question, when he asked, "Do you have any questions?" I looked at my parents and I thought, I have a question. I said, "So you're saying I have to take this bisoprolol?" I mean, I didn't say bisoprolol, I just said this medication. And I asked him, "How long do I have to take this medication for?" He looks at me and he says, "Oh, you'll have to take it forever." And it just felt really strange, because in my head, I just thought it would be like the flu. I thought I would have this particular disease, like the dilated cardiomyopathy, and it would just go. You know, I thought this medication would just fix it. Heart disease is one of those things. It doesn't have a fix. I mean, dilated cardiomyopathy that I know of in particular. It doesn't have a cure. Eventually it got to the point where I was approaching 16 and they had to consider referring me to an adult team, because clearly I had this condition. I had dilated cardiomyopathy, but they could no longer keep me in the paediatric cardiology clinics. So because my cardiologist at the time also did work in Leeds General Infirmary, he basically said the team there are excellent, and you know, it's up to you if you want to, but we would recommend them, basically. And we said absolutely yes. And honestly, I can't praise the team in Leeds enough. Yeah. In the next video, I'll talk about how I was completely asymptomatic from the age of getting diagnosed, and it's only when I turned 22 when my life took a huge U-turn. But for now, that's all for now. Thank you for listening, and I hope this has helped.